Hey, what's going on, guys? Dage Ignite here, aka Ross the Boss, whatever you want to call me. So recently this game got a 70% sale and a free-to-play weekend, and I figured that there'd be a lot of new players in this game who don't exactly know how the game works. So I am here to just give some entry-level knowledge from the perspective of a newer player. While I'm not the most skilled player to be telling you how to play this game, I'd say that I have learned enough to be able to explain the basic entry-level stuff that you're going to need to know in order to succeed in this game, and the professional players that you would expect to be telling all of this play on a very different level than what the average casual match actually plays out like. So I'd say having somebody that plays casual a little bit more often would help you in how you absorb this information that I'm about to give you. With all the formalities out of the way, we can get right into it. This is my guide to Rainbow Six Siege. Thankfully, Siege's game modes are very easy to learn, and to keep it even more simple, we're only going to be talking about the bomb game mode just because, one, it's generally considered the most balanced and it's the most played. Every match is played with two teams of 5 players switching between the two roles of attacking and defending every round. Each round starts with choosing the operator you want to play for that round. When all 10 players have chosen which operator they want to play, you get thrown into the game and the prep phase begins. The prep phase is a 45-second period for the defenders to set up shop in the bomb sites by reinforcing walls, barricading doors and windows, and placing their gadgets. The prep phase is also the time that the attackers can use one of their drones to scout out what the defenders are preparing for them. Once the 45-second period is ended, the attackers spawn outside and the action phase begins. The attackers get a diffuser at the beginning of the action phase and need to plant it on one of the 2 bomb sites being defended by the defenders. Once the diffuser is planted, the defenders have the chance to defuse the diffuser. Wait, what?
Diffuser has been destroyed. Mission failed.
I threw a grenade. Oh my gosh, it blew up just after they got done. Oh, that's annoying. Once the attacker's diffuser successfully defuses one of the defender's bomb sites, or the defenders defuse the attacker's diffuser, the round is won to the respective side. Each round will award you with 1 point, and the first to 3 points in a casual round will win you the game. As of late 2018, this game has 42 operators, which each have a unique gadget that can help the team in different ways. For example, Bandit is a 1-armor 3-speed that can electrify reinforced walls, barbed wire, and deployable shields using his car batteries. Then there are defenders like Rook, whom I passionately call Lardex, the Destroyer of Golden Corral. Rook is a 3-armor 1-speed. His ability is to place down a duffel bag full of armor plates that give your team extra bullet resistance when they equip them. This is what makes Siege just so fun, even after 3 years of it being released. You have 5 unique operators versus another 5 unique operators. No match can truly be the same. What's even better is that after Operation Chimera, once you buy the game full price, you get all of the original 20 operators for free. Now, this does mean that you still need to get the new 22 and actually 24 coming up. But in no way are these new 24 ops any better than the original 20. If you look into the pro leagues, there's still at least 2 to 3 of the original operators on both sides every match. In other words, they just provide a new way to play the game that the older operators could not provide, which means no pay to win. Now that we have the basic, absolute fundamentals of this game out of the way, we're going to move on to a little bit more complex things, such as strategies and what I would recommend you play as in the very beginning of the game. While it's not done quite as often as it used to be, spawn peeking is still a thing. Now, what spawn peeking is basically a defender will look outside a window or a doorway, or possibly even run out of it, just as the action phase begins, in an attempt to kill the attackers before they enter the building. A simple way to counter this is to just keep your eyes on the windows and doors as you're approaching the building. It'll save your life a lot more than you'd expect. Once you get inside the building without dying, there is a little secret I can tell you. Despite basically the entire casual queue thinking this is not true, you can actually deploy your drone after the prep phase. Like, goddamn, it's a thing. Why does nobody use it? Okay, anyways. You can put that drone anywhere you want, just like how you can in the prep phase. You just fly it into a room, see a man's, get off that drone, pop the man in the face. And it's very effective for not only finding enemies, but to tell your team where they are. So, a quick little mini subject. I wanted to talk about sound. Now, sound is probably one of the single most important things in this game. Like, despite being within your five senses, sound is like your sixth sense in Siege. It allows you to hear things before they happen. You can hear an enemy approaching a room. You can hear them placing down an explosive, getting ready to blow open a wall. You can hear gunshots, footsteps, all that stuff. All you need is headphones or earbuds that support stereo sound, and it works wonders. Any Siege player, I highly recommend that you play the game while wearing buds or something. It really improves your game experience. So a question that might be going through your head is, Ross, there's 20 of these guys I have to choose from. Which ones do I pick? Well, there's actually a couple that I can recommend to you that are very simple as a character, very versatile as an operator, and very easy to use in terms of weapons. Another quick side note, though, just even though that you're probably not going to be playing a majority of these 20 operators, I'd still recommend that you go into the operator menu of your game and putting attachments on all of the weapons for every character. It is a bit of a chore, but you'll be thanking yourself in the long run when you're just like, oh hey, I want to play Twitch, for example, and then you slowly realize that you didn't put attachments on any of her weapons, and you don't have time to when you're, on the clock waiting for everybody to choose their operators. The two attackers that I would recommend is Sledge and Thatcher. Sledge has a very self-explanatory gadget, a sledgehammer that can destroy anything that isn't reinforced. Thatcher is a little bit more complex, though. He has an EMP grenade that can destroy any enemy electronics, like bandits' car batteries and mute jammers. They both have access to the L85, which is a very low recoil assault rifle. So, great for those newer players. Siege has some extreme recoil, so having anything that is low recoil, go ahead and use it. I have a lot of names for the two defenders that I would recommend. We'll just call them the Frenchy boys, because that one doesn't sound as racist. So our two Frenchy boys are Rook and Doc. We already talked about Rook. So Doc is the other 3-on-1 speed amongst the Frenchies that make the attackers have a super hard time killing them when paired with Rook. That's because Doc's Stim Pistol can not only heal your allies for 40 points, but it can revive downed allies at range, which is a huge advantage. If you do like to bad manners your opponent, so it can revive enemies, so do with that as you will. They both come equipped with the MP5, which is a low recoil, high powered SMG, so like we said earlier, low recoil means great for newer players. So you have your operators and you have your base level knowledge of how this game works. So, how do you win a round? Round by round, how do you win these things? The main thing to take away is that communication is the probably what will win you most rounds. Whether it's just droning a room or using the defender's cameras to spot enemies, telling your team where the enemies are is so essential to victory. Another essential is to know where you are in the map. This can only be learned by playing the game, though, but I found that going into terrorist hunt and droning every room after I clear one is a very fast method of teaching your brain a map. I learned the basic layout of Oregon within like an afternoon of playing T-Hunt, if that makes any sense. So this may seem hard at first, but that's kind of the point. If you learn to do the hard stuff, then the easy stuff is going to be subconscious. If you need a little bit more help, though, there's a lot of communities on the PS4 that would gladly help you. I'm sure there's some on the Xbox and PC as well. Just don't be afraid to ask. If you see someone who's high level on your team, put on your mic and be, hey, can I help out? Or fuck? What you're supposed to ask is, if he could give you some information on how to play, what operators do, blah, blah, blah. There's so many people who would be glad to help you. If you want someone who I know will help you, you can always call me. Just hit me up on my friends list for PlayStation. I'll be glad to help you. Truly, I really love to enjoy newer players, so if you have any questions, go ahead. So that's going to wrap up our extremely basic guide to Siege. It wasn't as in-depth that I wanted it to be, but at some point you have to understand that these are very new players to the game, so just gave you everything you really need to know at the start, and maybe I can do more of these later on in the future. I'd be glad to, actually, but if I see enough support for this video, then I will consider continuing these guides. So anyways, that will be the end of this guide. My name's Agent Knight, aka Ross the Boss, whatever you want to call me. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.